A quadruple winning tactic that scores over 3 goals a game. This is my ultimate 4-3-3 narrow edition. As always, guys, there are going to be 3 variants available for you guys today. I want to thank all of the names coming down the screen right now. These are going to be new or existing Patreon members. Patreon is a great way to support me as a creator, and also you get some fantastic perks yourselves, including early access to the tactics and also the videos. You get priority in your rebuild and also tactical requests. You also get to download all of these files in one simple download, and you get a load of help with your stuff as well. So definitely check it out in the description below. Now, we're not going to stall today. We're going to get right into it. We've got loads to discuss. We've got 3 very good variants and a load of results to go through. So let's go over with the sweeper keeper. He's going to be on support, on tackle harder, a very sort of basic role in the team. Doesn't need too much attention paid on this role, to be honest. The only reason I favour the sweeper keeper is I want them to be a little bit more sort of comfortable with the ball at their feet. We are playing out from the back, so it is a very key thing to have on a goalkeeper, and in my opinion, it suits a lot better having this than the default goalkeeper option. On the wing-back, on the right-hand side, we're going to have a wing-back on support, on cross aim centre, stay wider, and also tackle harder. You can see the couple of other default instructions is already going to get further forwards, even on a supportive role, and essentially this role is really massive in the team because he provides a lot of width in the team. These 2 midfield players aren't going to be going out wider, so the fullbacks provide so much width in the team because these sort of 2 here stay quite central, so the fullbacks play arguably the biggest role in the team, providing that width. In terms of the centre-backs, we're going to have a ball-playing defender on the right, on defend, and exactly the same also on the left-hand side. And when it comes to the wing-back on the left, it's going to be exactly the same because it works so well on the right-hand side. I didn't really need to change anything on the left-hand side. It's not like a manager's tactic where you might have one fullback that plays completely different to the rest. It's obviously a generic tactic, which I've made myself, so this is my sort of style. And honestly, having 2 fullbacks providing the same thing on both areas helps out massively. Do want to quickly say, if you are enjoying so far, please do consider leaving a like, guys, because it helps out massively to the channel, helps the videos get found, and if you enjoy it that much, be sure to subscribe as well. But let's go over to the midfield right now. So we're going to kick things off then with a DM. My favourite role when it comes to midfield players this year, or towards the later end of the game for sure, that is going to be a DM on support, on shoot less often, and tackle harder. Now, you might wonder, why have you got shoot less often on? He's not a cam, he's not going to get that far up. Surprisingly, he does. Because we do play a counter-attacking style, he does go up, and occasionally he is going on the edge of the box. And traditionally, I don't like DMs that are there to defend, to have shots at the goal. I'd rather him be like a Rodri, where although he sometimes has a crack, he's more about playing it about and, you know, creating for other players. So, in my opinion, it works really well, and a tackle harder is just purely to have a little bit of aggression in that team. But playing this way, with that DM in the midfield and that back line, we had a very good defensive season. You can see here, 0.65 conceded per game, which is absolutely incredible. We maintained quite a good pass completion, a very good tackle win ratio, and also we weren't that defensive to the point where we were still able to score over 3.2 goals a game. But over 2 at the box-to-box on the left-hand side, a very crucial role in any 4-3-3 in my opinion. This is going to be a box-to-box on support, simply on tackle harder. The default instructions is what I want him to do. I want him to have a little bit of roaming going on. I don't exactly want him getting forwards all the time because it's not really needed. That is why it's not selected. And you've got to remember, we've got 3 very attacking options up here. In terms of the next player, it's going to be a central midfield player on support with a few additional instructions because obviously a default central midfield player is very, very standard. We've got get further forwards, roam from positions, move into channels, and also tackle harder. So 4 very important instructions, and this is by far the most attacking midfield player. Plays very similar to sort of a Metzala on support, but in my opinion, it's a little bit better in this system, and it works really, really well. But in terms of the front 3, guys, this is really where the tactic is discussed. This is what makes this tactic. It's absolutely incredible. We scored tons of goals. You're going to see it very shortly. We're going to kick things off with the pressing forward on attack on the default instructions. And essentially this guy, he does score goals, but essentially he creates for the other 2 strikers just ahead of him. And we had a lethal combination of players here. I mean, I know on the right-hand side, we actually tested with the new man for Bayern Munich. That is going to be the likes of Harry Kane here. You can see him here, 54 games, 44 goals, picking up a load of goals and assists really for him. We then go and we add, where is he? Come on, Thomas Muller comes in. The age of 34, by the way. Didn't pick up as many goals, it was more of a creator, and obviously this player here is going to be none other than the likes of, when we get to him, it is going to be Sadio Mane coming in, who picked up 30 goals. Now this front three were absolutely lethal. If there's one thing we learned about this tactic though, guys, it is not shy of scoring goals. I'm going to just show you how these goals sort of go in, and then we're going to break down those 2 advanced forward roles. Only take a couple of seconds, but I just want to show you guys exactly how the goals actually get created on a very sped up version, because there are 7 goals in this game. Harry Kane, though, absolutely thrived in this game. Quite funny, though, he's moved from Tottenham and lost his first cup final against Super Leipzig at a 3-0 win. But do you know what? One thing which I've noticed about this tactic especially is it basically does a bit of everything. It's very good when it comes to pressing the ball back. It's also very good at going forwards. You get everybody involved, midfield players, everybody. What a game. So I can't really stress enough how important these 2 advanced forward players are, guys, and it really does work, in my opinion. Have one of them slightly deeper, so the pressing forward is going to be the deeper option, and then the 2 that sort of grow off them and finish the chances, that is going to be Sadio Mane on this occasion, and also exactly the same instructions on the right hand side for Harry Kane. In my opinion, I would not play about with it. I would stick to these front 3 if you've got the players to do so. It works so well. And in terms of the team instructions, guys, it is going to be an attacker mentality on the default version, on fairly wide, passing to space. This is a great way to get the mixture of shorter passing and also that long ball approach when and if needed. Playing out from the back is something which I obviously discussed previously. We're going to have that on. Shorter passing directness, a higher tempo, run at defense, and also mixed crosses. One thing you'll notice when you're playing with this tactic is it's very counter-attack heavy. You're going to defend really solidly and then fly at the opposition, and that is the perfect instructions to have on to do that. In terms of the transition though, guys, again, we're going to have counter press, very aggressive winning the ball back, and this is it's really a must needed thing. The counter is going to be all about this tactic. It's a very counter-attack heavy tactic, and it works really, really well. We're going to have distribute to the fullbacks, distribute to the centre backs, and I've actually opted for a roll out approach. Now this is not really any different to taking the short goal kicks, but I did notice while having the short goal kicks on, sometimes he actually went to the DM. I don't know why, because I did select these back 4, or these, obviously the back 4 here. But when I have roll it out on, it always goes to the centre halves, which I'm a really big fan of. And in terms of the actual out of possession tab, guys, we're going to have much more often on the trigger press, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, the high press and live engagement, and also the standard defensive line, which was able to win us the Bundesliga, where we played 34, 129, drew 4, and only lost the 1, picking up 91 points. The Champions League, which we won 2-0 against Manchester United. The DFB Pokal in a very close game against Frankfurt and a 1-0 win. And also the Super Cup in an absolute thumping in a 5-1 win over Leipzig. I bet they wish that happened yesterday. So guys, that is going to give you a very solid tactic there. We are now going to go over the attacker one. So let's get into that right now. So it is going to be looking a lot like this. So it is going to be a little bit of a change, as you can see. But to be fair, in terms of the actual player roles, there isn't that much different. So the front 3 are going to have a couple of changes come to them. And that's just literally an instruction added on. When I'm chasing a game, I'm after a goal desperately. I do like to have shoot more often on both of the players. So both of these are going to have it on, as you can see. And the reason for that is it's not because I don't have enough shots on the default one, but it's more the fact of, if I am chasing the game, this tactic isn't a tiki-taka tactic. It's very much counter-attack, get a shot off on goal. So the more shots you have at goal, statistically, the better chance you've got of scoring. So having these two that are both going to have shots at goal is very, very helpful. Going over to the midfield, then, it is going to be a little bit different. As you can see, a lot of the roles are similar. The back line remains exactly the same, just to say. But going over to the box-to-box, simply just some instructions that are different. We're going to have run wide, get further forward, stay wider, and also tackle harder. This means he is essentially going to get into this sort of pocket of space here. He works really well with this striker up here, and also the wing-back works really well. They sort of form a really nice triangle to dominate that side of the field. Next to him is going to be a Metzala on attack, on tackle harder, and his default instructions pretty much makes him do exactly the same as the box-to-box in terms of he is going to get forward, he is going to go wider, he is going to be roaming about, and the exact same thing happens in this area here, and it's incredibly hard to defend against. You sort of drag that sort of part of the team out to that area, and then obviously it opens up a really, really lovely space for this central pressing forward, and also you can switch it very easily to the other side where there's no attention being paid by the opposition. In terms of the team instructions, there are going to be a couple of changes, so we actually are going to have overlap left and overlap right on now, really getting them fullbacks involved. We're going to have run at defence alongside of being more expressive, so we've doubled up on that one, because at the end of the day, we are desperate for a goal. There's no harm in being a little bit more expressive trying to chase that goal down. In transition, we have got pretty much everything selected, it seems. We've got counter press, counter, which obviously we did have on before, but the only change is going to be distributing that ball quickly and really getting the ball movement. If you are desperate for a goal, you have got to get the game flow back underway and really take the game to them. So that is the best way to do it after your goalkeeper has got the ball. And in terms of out of possession, guys, there is going to be one change, and that is going to be the higher defensive line. One thing which makes all the difference, but in my opinion, we were performing a lot better on the standard throughout the entire season. But when I was a goal down, I would switch to that higher line to just pretty much apply a lot of pressure on that other team. And it can be vulnerable, so I will warn you, I wouldn't recommend going in every game like it. But a game against a smaller team or a game where you need a goal, there's no harm in deploying that higher line. But over to the defensive variant, guys, again, there are going to be some changes, so hopefully you guys are still watching at this point. I hope you are, because there are a lot of changes going on, and I like to go through them because obviously I don't want to force you guys to become a Patreon to simply have a tactic. It's not really fair. So the changes are going to be like this. The back line is going to remain the same. The DM goes on defend, simply on tackle harder. The box-to-box on the left is going to be on support, on tackle harder. So nice and simple, relatively the same to what the default one is. And now the central midfield player, he's simply stripped of any sort of instruction, and this is a really good option, guys, because with this formation, you can't really go shut the shop all at the back type of job, because it's not how it's laid out to be. But having this sort of midfield here is a really nice balance. You've got one player here which is all about protecting the back line, really defensive. You've got a neutral midfield player here in the box-to-box, and the central midfield player is going to do a little bit of everything. He's not really told to do a certain thing, so he's a nice balanced option that's going to pass the ball about, get back when needed, and also, if he does need to go forward on a sort of, late break on in the game from a corner or something, he is going to do it. In terms of the front three, everything remains the same apart from this right here. The press and forward does go on support instead of attack, just dropping him a little bit deeper and having a little bit closer of a gap between these three here, so we can obviously play it to him, and then he can feed the front three. In terms of the team instructions, though, it is going to be a positive mentality. In terms of the attack and width, it's going to be set to fairly wide. Passing to space, playing out from the back is still going to remain. Shorter passing directness, although on this occasion, we've slightly lowered the tempo, so it is set to slightly higher. We've got time wasting set to frequently because we are trying to seal out a game, and also play for set pieces. And I would recommend you download all of my set pieces, because this way you've probably got a very good chance of getting a goal from purely playing for them. In transition, we're going to have exactly the same as what we had in the default one, but we have also now added on slow pace down. We're trying to seal out a game, so when your goalkeeper's got the ball, let's do up his shoelace, fake an injury, why not, run the clock down. And in terms of out of possession, we're going to have the standard defensive line, the high press and line of engagement, slightly tone down the trigger press to more often, and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. We also had an incredible season with Galatasaray over in the Turkish league, where we obviously played 38, we won 33, absolutely stampeded that league. Not the best in the Champions League, I will show you that and be honest. Runners up in the Europa League though, so a very good run and a very good bounce back from that disappointment in the Champions League. We've also won this trophy here, and also the Super Cooper? I don't want to butcher that name, but we also won that, so it is going to be a treble winning season, nearly another quadruple winning season, with Yilmaz coming in with 27 goals. Very similar stats with this team as well. I believe actually exactly the same when it comes to goals per game at 3.21, slightly less conceded, probably because, we are a very big powerhouse in this division. A pass completion of 84.67, shots per game at just over 25, and a tackle win ratio of basically 75%. We also had a treble with Antwerp, obviously over in the Belgian division, winning 2 of the cups here as you can see, and also winning the league quite comfortably, a 20-point advantage, so realistically we can't complain about any of these tests. 3.10 goals a game, 0.75, which I believe is the highest, but still way under a goal a game, an 84% pass completion, and shots per game sitting at 24.62. That is going to give you guys 3 fantastic variants of the ultimate 433 narrow edition. If you guys have enjoyed today's video, please do leave a like, drop a little subscription, and hit a notification bell. I've got a little surprise coming on the weekend, so a few days away, we're going to have a 10-year Luton rebuild. It's going to be the best edited video I've ever made on this channel. I'm putting tons of time into it, so please do check it out, and let me know in the comments if you're excited for that. But I'll see you guys on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day.